everyone, my name is Samara Mizutani Cesar, and I'm a student from Missouri State University. I am a double major in anthropology and criminology. The title of the paper that I will introduce to you today is Amidst the Struggle of Race, Ethnicity, and Nationality, and I cited the works of Maurice Sendak in the Night Kitchen and Luis Valdez Los Vendidos. I hope you enjoy! There are so many issues in a modern world related to and entangling the ideas of race, ethnicity, and nationality. That is because they're not the absolute truths, but rather social constructions that are apt to change. At the same time that they are products of societies and cultures, they are also influential in creating elements of culture. Culture builds what is normal through social norms and expectations for its practitioners. Race, ethnicity, and nationality implement restrictions, limitations, and sometimes punishments or sanctions for those who fail to follow such norms and expectations. Maurice Sendak in the Night Kitchen and Luis Valdez Los Vendidos can be interpreted in a way that disentangle the complexity of this process of enculturation and/or assimilation, and they show the constant struggle of people whose beliefs or ideologies contradict hegemonic culture. In this paper, I would like to first talk about how the social norms and expectations are introduced to and performed by people. Second, I will give some examples of what happens to people who don't follow these norms and sticks out from society. Then, I will analyze how hard it is to resist or push back the process of enculturation and/or assimilation. And finally, discuss what contributions race, ethnicity, and nationality can bring to individuals in determining their identity. Let's first talk about how social norms and expectations are introduced to and learned by people. Social norms and expectations, in this context, refers to those of the hegemonic culture, which is formed and supported by the dominant nation. When Mickey comes into the kitchen, he is almost molded as an ingredient of a cake dough by the big chefs, all with the same appearance. This scene can be explained as Mickey's initiation ritual. Mickey is an individual who has been taught how to become like the others who had already passed through the ritual. The chefs all look like the same because they are the results of the ritual and now are the ones who are going to teach the new generation how to be like them. More specifically, considering the author Maurice Sendak's Jewish background and the mustache of the chefs may symbolize Hitler-era Germans, and Mickey is being forced to become a Nazi or at least someone compatible with the rest. In other words, the initiation ritual along with the chefs represent the process of creating endless uniformity. In addition to being taught and learned, social norms and expectations are also performed. People perform those expected behaviors, both consciously and unconsciously, in accordance with the circumstances. A very clear depiction of this process can be found in Valdez Los Vendidos, when we discover that the robots of Honest Sancho's shop are actual people performing. It is even more notable that they are doing so in a way to match the stereotypes or the behaviors expected by the American people toward Mexican people. The Mexican-American model performs the character the American government would like to buy in order to accomplish their scheme, and apparently that model can be performed by almost anyone, as one of the guys said that he could be the next Mexican-American robot. This suggests that people can perform or express different characteristics that they have learned in a way that it will benefit themselves. Next, I would like to talk about what sometimes happens to people who don't follow the norms and expectations. Expectations and stereotypes are often considered to be natural or normal by people who believe and practice them, and those who do not fit in such normality are seen as socially aberrant, and many times they're subject to coercive changes. In the case of In the Night Kitchen, Mickey is almost compelled to change against his own wills, being put on a batter to serve as the milk. His initiation ritual can also be considered as a test. Were Mickey the milk, the one playing the expected role by society, he would have survived the entire ritual. Although he would have ended up losing his personality, he would have instead grown bigger like the chefs, which implies more wealth and acceptance by the society. If one fails to be the milk, the only thing left is to be baked alive, which is almost the case of the Mickey. The oven here is a symbol of gas chambers or shower rooms used during the Holocaust. Those who became a Nazi or conformed and yielded to the Nazi government survived the era. Those who were deemed different or sticking out in any way, such as people with disabilities and homosexuals, not only Jews, were killed. Rejection and disdain toward individuals who fall outside the norms are also observable in Los Vendidos. For instance, the secretary of the California governor insists in negating her connection with Hispanic ethnicity. She chooses to hold on to the dominant American culture. She says to Sancho with disgrace, quote, "Don't you speak English?" Quote end, when she tells him how to pronounce her name correctly. Moreover, the Mexican-American model proves to be favorable to her because he is American-side patriot. He is divorced from his Mexican origin and humiliates and degrades his own people in a speech, which he calls Mexican people uneducated and stupid. His model illustrates people who reject their origins and decide to assimilate to the dominant culture. However, I thought it is unfair to simply blame or demonize the chefs or in the night kitchen, the secretary, or the type of person the Mexican-American model is describing Los Vendidos. So the third question is, how hard is it to resist enculturation and or assimilation? The frustration and arduousness of molding, enculturation, or the assimilation process are indirectly described in the materials. For instance, I got some sense of helplessness in the end of In the Night Kitchen. After all, it's just a dream. Mickey resists the initiation ritual, or the molding operation, and remains himself, without being transformed into just one of the many big chefs. He achieves wonderful miracles by bringing milk to the cake dough and contributing to the society without having to sacrifice his personality or identity. He becomes a hero. However, this is all just a dream. His struggles, his awakening, and his achievements all happen in a dream, not in the reality. This dream plot implies the toughness to actually confront the hegemonic power in reality that imposes norms and expectations about us. Can one really achieve it, or is it just a mere illusion? One could have dreamt about rejecting the Nazi government, but could he or she really have confronted it face to face? In Los Vendidos, this frustration is expressed by demonstrating the difficulty of a minority or unprivileged group to be accepted by the dominant group. Prior and during the 1960s, the Mexican people in the US were devastated by the way they had been treated with no admiration, minimal respect, or acceptance. As apparent in the robotypes in Sancho's shop, they were associated with all kinds of stereotypes and rejected the access to opportunities or means to improve their lives. Even if one was lucky enough to get a better education and come to the point that some American person would like to buy him or her, he or she would still be diminished for not being completely American by blood or race. After being impressed by all the great qualities of the Mexican-American model, the secretary still shows reluctancy when Sancho tells her the price. She cries indignantly, quote, $15,000 for a mere Mexican? Quote end, as if like denying his Americanness and assigning everything that seems to be a defect to the Mexican side. Moreover, the play itself is a scheme. It is the gloomy plot of the Mexicans to overthrow or at least damage the American government. This basic narrative itself insinuates that it is certainly hard to make an actual change, if not by using legitimate means. However, these are not merely stories presenting the issues generated by race, ethnicity, and nationality. Although they contain the obstacles in confronting the hegemonic power and both internal and external complications in overcoming that, they also provide us with some hopes which are based on the grounds of what originally created those obstacles. For in a night kitchen, that may be Mickey's airplane. He creates and uses the airplane so that he can achieve something that would save himself from being baked, or engulfed by ideology's uniformity of the Nazi. Here, it is quite significant that he does not make the airplane out of nowhere or with his own means. He makes out of the dough which is made by the chefs. The dough is a symbolical product of the kitchen world, Nazi Germany, and Mickey radically repurposes it in order to protect himself. He wouldn't have been able to escape from the chefs if it wasn't for the product of this culture, which seemed to limit him so much previously. Furthermore, although I earlier mentioned the limitations of dreams, dreams can also stand for hopes. Dreams are what people have not achieved yet, but they would strive forward with aim to achieve it. Mickey's relieved and peaceful face in the end is a revelation that he changes somehow, if not physically, mentally. He is only able to change through the means of what the uniformity and stability the culture has built. Los Vendidos is much clearer in the way it shows that race, ethnicity, and nationality can unite and motivate people who share them. The Mexican people in the US were able to confront the dominant American culture by gathering peers, those sharing the same suffering and struggle, the same passion and goal, and the same origin and home. The Chicano movement, famous for the farm workers movement, was a result of such growing ethnic solidarity. Even today, it seems like many of them are trying not to submit to the American culture by maintaining their language, celebrations, and traditions. In the end of Los Vendidos, all people who are playing the robots come together, joke around, laugh, and share their emotions. Nothing could have tied them more strongly than the sense of community in which they share the same history and ancestry. It is a similar sense of comradeship and family. Therefore, race, ethnicity, and nationality can be deeply problematic because they play an immense role in creating cultures. Culture narrows down its membership and thus cultivates loyalty and companionship among those who share that culture, enabling it to survive and strive. But sometimes, such limitations can lead to imposed and forced social norms and expectations. Individuals who experience oppressions for being deviant from the hegemonic culture would find themselves lost and wondering their identity, what they really are or what they should be. Some people may surrender to the hegemonic culture after experiencing or witnessing the coercive and often painful process of resistance. Nevertheless, amidst the struggle and conflict of defining their race, ethnicity, and nationality, some people will be able to resist the dominant power and reach their own answer regarding their identity. Race, ethnicity, and/or nationality could provide them the strength and means for them to achieve it. Just like Mickey's airplane dough let him fly, and La Raza allows Mexican people to unite. That's the end. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope you have a wonderful day.